What's going on, guys? It's Nick here, back with another video, back with another 12 days of mock drafts, going from the number 2 spot here, and our first draft, I guess, the first draft on the draft app. I much prefer the actual app on the phone, but to record the screen, we're going to do it on the desktop version. For those of you who don't know, this is a best ball draft. So you have your roster. I'll make my pick here first, and then I'll talk. So he took Saquon Barkley. I'm going to go with Alvin Kamara here. Here is how it looks. I'll go to my next pick. It's in a ways. Okay. Here's how the roster looks. So it's relatively standard. I know a lot of you actually play in this format. 1 quarterback, 2 running back, 3 wide receiver, a tight end, a flex spot, and then a boatload of bench spots. You have 18 total picks in the draft. But for best ball, what happens is, let's say you've got your starting running backs in a redraft league, right? And whoever's on your bench obviously doesn't count towards your picks. Like, it doesn't count towards your score at the end of the week. Well, in best ball, they do. So if you end up drafting 6 running backs, 7 running backs, it's going to take whoever's top, whatever 2 score the most points and use them for your scoring for that week. And it's not a weekly thing. It's basically whoever has the most points at the end of the year. So I think it's a really cool format, and it has you think about upside a little bit more and not drafting players who are going to go 5 for 50 every week and end up as like a wide receiver 3, but like you were never using them. It has you think a lot more about upside. And also, people are paying money to be in these drafts. So you're getting a little bit more of a competitive draft instead of going it's computer against people who don't really care in a mock draft room. So I think it's really cool. It's only $1 to actually do the draft, so I think it's definitely worth it, even if you're only using it to practice. I mean, you have the upside to win as well because you're watching these videos. You guys know what's going on. So first round is pretty normal. You've got the top 5 that always goes in the top 5, then Hopkins, Adams. Bell is the next running back, then Chubb, Kelsey, Julio. Another thing, since you have to start 3 wide receivers, and then you have a flex, you have the ability every week to play 4 wide receivers and then just 2 running backs. So it's definitely something to note there. If you're ever choosing between 2 players, you can kind of lean wide receiver because you should have a ton of them since, you know, your top 4 really can be used. It's just something to think about. Especially, you could go like RB0 after taking an elite running back, right? Because I have Alvin Kamara. I'm pretty sure he's going to post at least a solid score every week. I can hammer out some wide receivers here. Another thing that I like doing, remember what I've said in a few recent videos. So Kelsey goes really early, then Kittle and Ertz go. And they're good picks, but they're not like the value I want. But Howard, Ingram, and Hunter Henry are all really good values. Now, like I said, under this format, it only takes a top score. So normally, you know, you're going up against guys who've got like Jerry Cook, and they've got maybe Ebron, Hooper. They've got like solid tight ends, and maybe they only score 4 some weeks and then like 15 the next week. But you want a good tight end score in this format because if you can consistently get 15, 16 points from tight end, that's setting you ahead from other players. And since I think this tier is all undervalued, I've had a few drafts where I take Howard and Hunter Henry and basically just lock in a really nice score. So it's something to think about under this format that you wouldn't be doing under other formats. So, our choice at wide receiver with 15 seconds left is Antonio Brown, T.Y. Hilton, Amari Cooper, basically. Running backs, we'll go with Dalvin, I think. Especially since I have 3 seconds to make that choice. I'll try and be a little bit quicker on the next rounds. And actually, I have it in a second here. Wonderful, I'm already up. So something I've also done is gone heavy on running back in like the first 3, and then just got a ton of wide receivers I like. I might do that here because there's some wide receivers I really like there, and I can't really decide between those guys. So why don't we do that? Let's go. I'll go to my next pick so we can see my current team. I don't have a pick for a very long time. my current team. So we have Alvin Kamara, Dalvin Cook, and Damian Williams. So right there, those 3 running backs. I legitimately could wait until like the 12th or 13th round for running back at this point. I don't need another running back because between those 3, I'm pretty sure I'm going to find 2 scores each week. They're going to be very respectable for my running back position. So over the next like 8 rounds, I'm probably only going to take wide receivers and tight ends. Now, what I usually do on the app when I'm not, talking a bunch, I want to get back so you guys can see who's going in what rounds. There, you're good. When I'm not talking a bunch to you guys, I always just pick like 6 guys. Be like, all right, these are the next 6 people I would pick. I put them in the queue. So I guess we'll try and do that here. I would want Cooper, Diggs. I think it would be then T.Y., Thielen, Cooks, Godwin. That would be like the wide receivers I'd like at the next one. It's still a ways before I can actually pick again, and I'm sure a lot of them will be gone. But we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got 6 wide receivers we really like, and then I guess Kenny Golladay would be next at 7 wide receivers. Maybe one of them's left. You can look at the running backs, starts to fall off. Let's pretend that maybe I went wide receiver heavy. Who would be the running backs I'd be looking at here? I'd be looking at Freeman, Chris Carson, Josh Jacobs, David Montgomery, Derrick Henry, and then drop off. I guess Melvin Gordon, but it's just such a weird situation. I don't really know what to do there. So I haven't been drafting him really. But those are the guys I'd look at there, but we're not looking at them because we've taken so many running backs that we just don't need them. It'll be the 4th round with our next pick, and I did a draft last night. I don't even remember. I think I may have been like 7th overall. So I don't really know. Where does that even put you in the 5th round? But in the 6th and 7th round, I grabbed O.J. Howard and Hunter Henry. And that was incredible value, I thought. But typically, if you want to do the double thing, you're going to need to take him in the 5th and 6th round. But definitely not looking to take him in the 4th round. So still 5 of the wide receivers left that we like. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's like 5 picks before I get up. So I do think we're going to get one of them. It'd be awesome if we got like Amari Cooper or Diggs. But I have a feeling they're not going to be there at our pick. Quarterback, you can take earlier. And you're going to need to take multiple, obviously. So, like, let's just say your quarterback gets hurt. Like, in a redraft league, you could just go to free agency and pick someone up. It's not that big of a deal. Well, there's no free agency on draft. Like, your team is your team. That's what you're picking. So, if you picked one quarterback and he got hurt, you just automatically lose because you're taking a 0 at quarterback when other guys have 3 and they're getting, 25, 26 every week. So, it's something to think about, but doesn't mean you need to take like Mahomes, Watson, Rodgers. Like, yeah, you're going to get a really good score, but you also just wasted a lot of your early round picks. What I've been doing is waiting until kind of that like 10 to 14th round range and grabbing a few in a row, really. I've been drafting guys that I like in that range just back to back to back, just getting a nice core. So that was to be expected. A few of the guys went, but we still get Chris Godwin, our guy. Maybe we can get we can get Golladay. Nice. Okay. So I like Godwin, Golladay as our 2 first wide receivers. I'll just pull it up real quick. No, I won't. There's no reason to. Take those guys. After that, so let's say I had the next pick. I probably would go, or I guess if Golladay was taken, I'd probably go Lockett. I put him in a video pretty recently, just talking about, the market share that he's going to have is just incredible. We'd be looking at DJ Moore, Robert Woods would be a nice pick, Calvin Ridley would be good. Then, there's like a mini drop, I think, kind of after those guys into the next tier. They'll probably all be gone as well. But again, we really like these tight ends. So I want Howard, Hunter Henry, Ingram in that order. Our next pick will be the late 6th round. Is that correct? Because we already took early 5th round. Yeah. So we're not up for a long time. Late 6th round. Pretty unlikely that any of those tight ends will still be on the board. But if they are, we're liking that. So another thing. So I have been trying to get like 2 of them on the team. If that doesn't happen, I'm cool with Jared Cook, Vance McDonald, Njoku because he's back from his knee. Austin Hooper, though, he's been the guy that I've been targeting because I don't really view him all that different from Cook, Vance, and Njoku. Like, I don't really view him all that different from those guys, but he goes so much later. I mean, you look at the ADP, like Cook's at 74, but Hooper's at 114. Like, that's a really, really nice discount. Some of the wide receivers are getting taken. Montgomery in the 5th round, nice value. So yeah, only Moore and Calvin Ridley are left. We're not going to end up getting. We're not like I wanted to get maybe like DJ Moore and OJ Howard. That'd be really cool to get with the next 2, but seems like it's not going to happen. We only need to survive one more though. One more pick. So Ingram went, Howard went, DJ Moore went. Coleman went, kind of liked him as well, but weren't going to take him here. But only need to survive this one pick, and we can lock up Hunter Henry. And I think we can get a nice a nice wide receiver. Nice. All right. We're not going to risk it. You could risk it, take Calvin Ridley, and then take Hunter Henry with the next pick. But I ain't risking that. So we're going to let these 2 picks go by. There goes Calvin Ridley, one before us. We're still looking for a wide receiver with this pick. I'm going to go with Robbie Anderson. I also talked about him in, what is that, Tuesday's video. I think that he's pretty clearly the top option in the passing game, at least among wide receivers. I don't know exactly how much they're going to use Bell in the receiving game. But honestly, I'd say if I had to pick one person to lead this team in targets, it's probably Robbie Anderson. And he was really good down the stretch last season. And like that's finally when Sam Darnold was no longer in his like first, second start. He was coming back from his injury. Like everything was finally healthy. Robbie Anderson did good. And then you look at this preseason, they're playing a lot faster. The offense is definitely going to be better. He's clearly targeting Robbie Anderson. I mean, it's a really good pick in the 7th round. So let's go forward about 1 million miles and check out our current roster. So we've got, for running backs, Alvin Kamara, Dalvin Cook, and Damian Williams. And then at wide receiver, Chris Godwin, Kenny Golladay, Robbie Anderson. Really like that. Again, we can start 4 wide receivers every week, so we're still looking at wide receiver. And then Hunter Henry at tight end, I love that. Since I didn't get 2 of the like elite 2nd tier tight ends that I wanted, I'm going to hold off for a bit. And like I said, target this kind of like Austin Hooper, Jordan Reed, Kyle Rudolph, Delaney Walker kind of range. Probably try and grab 1, if not 2 of them. We can start looking at quarterback, but I would still prefer at least 1 more round of wide receiver before we do that. Although we have like that turn, so it's not that big of a deal. I have been targeting Winston, Lamar Jackson, Goff, Cousins, Rivers, Brady, Darnold. Though that's basically who I've been targeting in drafts. Newton, I did not see. Oh, I didn't scroll up high enough. I was going to say, I was like, wow, there's not a lot of quarterbacks available from what I thought. So let's undo these stars. I was like, wow, I didn't think Winston would be the next best available going in the 8th round. I was like, man, people are taking quarterbacks early. But yeah, I mean, this whole tier is still there, like Newton and Murray and Wentz and Ryan and Baker. So we're still good. We can hold off a little bit longer in there. Wide receiver, though. So Fuller is really nice under this format. You get to capture those like 4 weeks where he just goes completely nuts. Watkins as well. Really nice value there. Scantling. Pettis is still probably the one. I'm a little bit off on him because I like Deebo Samuel because you can get him. It's super late under really any format. And since I've been getting that everywhere, I've been kind of shying away from Pettis. But still a fine pick. Geronimo, Dede, Deshaun, like I said, really nice. Shepard, definitely. Cortland Sutton. Moncrief is still the one. So even though James Washington has been good, he's been good, but he hasn't been playing with the starters. Like he's still, I think he has 1 first-team snap this entire preseason. We get to choose another. So, who's got more upside? Sammy Watkins, Marquez. I think I've taken Sammy in like 2 of these. I'm not sure I've even taken Marquez yet. So let's take Marquez. You're a starting wide receiver who's really fast, who's going to be receiving balls from Aaron Rodgers. You're going to have some really nice weeks. But I don't really mind taking either one of them there. Do our really big scroll ahead, and we will find our team again. So, updated wide receivers, because we already know we got Kamara, Cook, Damian Williams set at running back, Chris Godwin, Kenny Golladay, Robbie Anderson, Will Fuller, Marquez Valdes-Scantling. I really like that. That's really good. Still a boatload of bench spots. We're probably going to look at quarterback here, starting to get into the double-digit rounds. So, if we were up next for quarterback, we would have Cam Newton, Kyler Murray, Matt Ryan, Wentz, Winston. No, Goff, Winston. Pretty unlikely that I need all of those to be clicked. Would be pretty cool to get. Yeah, it'd be nice to get 2 of them. So 2 people from that grouping would be nice because, you know, quarterbacks have down weeks, even though their range of outcomes, even when they're not that great, isn't that bad. When you're going up against teams who are capturing all the high-end production, I mean, you want to be like you want to have a top 4 every week quarterback. Luck went in the 9th. I've been seeing him go later into like the 11th, 12th round. People are pretty scared, and it kind of looks like he's going to miss some time at this point. Okay, so Shepard goes, Allison goes. I was kind of hoping to get one more wide receiver and then kind of look at these quarterbacks. But looking at Sutton, Moncrief, I don't know. There are some wide receivers I like that are going a lot later. Kind of want to just start taking these quarterbacks. So I'm going to take Cam Newton here. People are scared about the shoulder. They really have no reason to be. He's going to be good. I wanted one of Winston or Kyler Murray, and Eagles over here takes both of them. Okay, so I was going to take one of those guys, but since this next tier, I mean, I don't really care all that much about which one I get. I'm going to take a wide receiver, and I'm going to take Cortland Sutton. Still clearly, I'd say he's clearly like the most raw talent of the wide receivers in Denver. It looks like Emmanuel Sanders is back, although still at very much elevated injury risk. But he looks back. But that doesn't affect Sutton. Like, yeah, maybe he sees a few less targets, but there's still not that many receivers they're throwing to. I mean, it's Sutton, it's Sanders, and it's Hamilton. And Sutton clearly looks like the one. So, and plus, this being draft, where are Sutton's targets, right? I mean, maybe he has some pretty bad weeks that are like 3 for 30. But Sutton's targets are coming deep down the field. He's got a very deep ADOT. So he's going to have some boom weeks. And that's what I'm capturing in this format, are the booms. Check out the team again. I can consider with this next pick going another quarterback and another tight end. And then I do want to start looking again at running back. So we've got still the Kamara, Cook, Damian Williams trio that we like. We've only got Newton and Hunter Henry at tight end, which I still is great. Godwin, Galladay, Robbie Anderson, Fuller, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, and Sutton all at wide receiver. So I feel pretty confident that we can get at least 3 of those guys some nice weeks. So we'll start with quarterback. I'd like Lamar Jackson, definitely. Have him in a tier above the rest of these guys. But Lamar Jackson, Kirk Cousins, Rivers, Brady, Darnold. I'm pretty sure the same people I clicked before. That's who I'm going after. But I would like Lamar Jackson with this next pick. Running back. There goes Brady. Like him. Duke. Damian Harris, Justice Hill, Pollard, Darwin Thompson, Malcolm Brown, but like we're getting into the guys that only take a lot later. At tight end, Hooper, Rudolph, Reed, Walker. I'd like to get someone from there, and I'll take Herndon if I didn't miss a pick, right? All right, good. I'll take Herndon if he's my 3. I don't prefer. I have done so. If you want to take Herndon in this format, and you've got like Kelsey, who you're pretty sure is going to get you points every week, or Kittle, like if you took one of the top 3, then Herndon can be your 2, and you can call it a day there because he's going to be really good when he returns from suspension. But it's a little bit more ideal to do what I did, or I'm going to do, and get like Hunter Henry, Hooper, Herndon, because then you're good with the Hunter Henry, Hooper over that first few weeks when he's suspended, and then once he comes back, I mean, you're doing really good at tight end. You didn't spend that much capital to get them. So that's my ideal outcome here. If I go with the 3 tight ends, I'm still not 100% sure if I will. We've got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've got 7 options. I'd like at least 2 of them to be 2 quarterback, 2 running back, and then we'd have 3 picks, probably 1 more. Yeah, that'd be fine. 2 quarterback, 2 running back, 2 tight end, and a wide receiver. Does that sound like a good split? That sounds like a good split. I like having 3 of those guys. There goes Hooper. Wonderful. So who are we going to take in like a few seconds when we pick? Oh, God. So Moncrief's an option. Our running backs are gone. So that's great. Hopefully we can wait another round for that, I guess. Our quarterback's gone. That's just excellent. Okay. 12th round. Let's take, goodness. Yeah, we'll take someone so that we don't get auto-picked. We'll take Rudolph. I don't love that. Probably should have been more prepared for that pick. Oh, and we're picking again. All right, let's take the running backs we like, just so we don't get sniped in this massive snake that's going around. Who do I think's most likely here? I'll take Justice Hill. I don't really know if that was the correct answer. It could have been Tony Pollard with how that saga is unfolding. But hopefully, not too many get taken, and we can get both Damian Harris and Tony Pollard with our next picks. That would be actually really nice. But at least one of them. I don't think they'll actually be there, but hopefully one of them's left. Didn't take quarterback because, to be completely honest, I don't care between Rivers, Cousins, and Brady. I mean, I'm not too concerned. Like, I'd prefer Cousins, but I don't care that much, and I don't think all of them are going to be taken. And I didn't want Reed and Walker to be gone and then get stuck having to go with just Hunter Henry and Herndon. So we can actually take off these two because we're not going to go there. It'll be Herndon or nothing basically with our tight end. We should take a quarterback with the next pick though in the 14th round. But I guess we'll see who gets taken before then. All right, so a few of our guys got taken, unfortunately, but We're still good at quarterback because we can still get Cousins, who I really like this season. And then as long as he doesn't take Damian Harris, we actually did get one of the running backs we wanted. Very nice. I wanted Pollard, I think, a little bit more. But I'll definitely take Damian Harris in this format. So we're going to scroll ahead, see the rest of our team. A quick note on Pollard. So, pretty interesting situation they have going on over there. So Zeke, I feel like Jerry Jones wanted to pay Zeke, and he figured they were going to work out a deal at some point. So he felt comfortable joking that like Tony Pollard's obviously been great in preseason. He looks really good, and he's very talented. And I feel like he felt comfortable joking about it. And then Zeke was like snappy in his response to me, like, "Hey, that's disrespectful." His agent saying it's disrespectful. And I feel like Jerry Jones is like upset now, like being like, "Oh, you want to be like that? I have all the leverage," because Zeke has no leverage in this situation whatsoever. So Zeke hurt himself as far as I'm concerned. They just gave a massive contract to someone. They're going to give a huge contract to Prescott. They're going to give a huge contract to Amari Cooper. Are they going to give a huge contract to Zeke as well when they don't have to pay him? If he sits out this full year, he has to sit out another full year. Is Zeke really going to do that? I mean, is that what's best for him? No, right? So it's an odd comment when you have no leverage in the situation. But I also have no idea what Jerry Jones is going to do. Like, I don't know. So interesting thing to follow. But as far as I'm concerned, Pollard needs to be taken. Like, for how late he's going, even if it's only a month that he's the guy, you're still getting the guy for a month really late. And maybe you can flip him after that point. Like, if you're like, "Hey, I think he's going to come back at some point," and we're 3 weeks in, because if Pollard's the guy for 3 weeks, right, he's probably what, a low-end 1 to a high-end 2. And if you can flip that for someone who is going to be a low-end 1 to a high-end 2 for the whole season, I mean, I bet you'll be able to do that in your league. So it's a really nice upside pick. And for where he's going, and what is he going in, like the 12th? I don't remember where he went here. But in like a redraft format, he's probably going in like the 12th round. I mean, where else are you going at running back at that point? Like, it's still that Justice Hill, Damian Harris area, which I love both of them as well. And I really don't know how I would stack those three. But those are 3 guys I'd really want to be getting on my team. Because if you're looking at the running backs here, I mean, explain to me where the upside is. Like, I guess Chase Edmonds if DJ goes down. Malcolm Brown if Gurley goes down. Montgomery if Bell goes down. But when we're in this range, we're looking at nothing. So give me the guy who could be great if nothing happens. You know, not if Zeke goes down, if Zeke continues to hold out. So something to think about with Pollard. Let's look at our roster because I forget some guys. So for running backs, we now have Kamara, Cook, Justice Hill, and Damian Harris. So I like, and Damian Williams too. Yeah. Alvin Kamara, Dalvin Cook, Damian Harris, Damian Williams, and Justice Hill. That 5 I actually feel good with. I don't even think we need to take another running back. For wide receivers, Godwin, Golladay, Anderson, Fuller, Marquez, and Sutton. At tight end, we've got Henry and Rudolph, and then we've got Cousins and Newton at quarterback. So I feel really good about that. Herndon went, so I don't even think I'm going to take another tight end. I don't really know that it's worth taking any of these guys. Quarterback, we definitely need one more, and we've got 3 more picks. Go away. This thing always pops up. I don't even have McAfee. Anyways, I really want Sam Darnold here, and then I'll be good with quarterback. Newton, Cousins, Darnold. Those are 3 guys I've really been targeting. So definitely fine with that. We'll let him do his autos. So we don't want tight end. We don't want quarterback. I guess we could take another running back for upside. But we could also just take another wide receiver. Since we can start 4, let's just take guys we like. And it's been Deebo for me. I think Deebo Samuel is my highest owned wide receiver under this format, which is crazy to think about because he's a rookie and we don't I mean, we don't really know how much he's going to be out there, but in the 17th round, I mean, come on. Like, he legitimately could be the top wide receiver on what should be a solid offense. Now, Garoppolo looked garbage this preseason, but Samuel, they're using him also on a ton of end arounds, and I mean, the kid looks good. So I buy into his talent, and they spent a high round pick on him. Not saying he even needs to beat out Pettis. He can be the 2 and still produce for you and still have some really good weeks, especially in this format. If he's taking an end around to the house, hey, I get to capture that because he's never on your bench because it's best ball. I don't think we need another wide receiver, right? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wide receivers. We could just take whichever we feel like between running back and wide receiver. But I guess we can lean running back here. I'll probably just take someone like Chase Edmonds just because Chase Edmonds or Malcolm Brown. Those will probably be my 2 picks. Not expecting to ever use them, but, you know, just in case, I could actually take Madison if he's available. I don't think he is because I have Dalvin Cook. But just take those guys in the off chance that someone gets hurt and you've got a huge leg up on your opponent. I think they actually both just went as I was talking, but I'll figure out the last pick. Don't you guys worry. Definitely not quarterback, so we get into this last range of these that it's like Foles, Dalton, Mariota, Fitzpatrick, Haskins. Like, it's just not worth spending a pick on them, especially with Mariota being on a short leash. If you needed a 3, it'd be Nick Foles or Dalton, but I don't know. I typically just disregard that entire range. I guess you could go Ito Smith. Smith would be a fine pick. You could dumpster dive for tight end just to try and make sure that someone doesn't like get hurt. So I guess you could go Doyle here. Doyle would be the tight end I'd go after. Really, no one else. I mean, it's kind of a gross range. I guess you could go Benjamin Watson because he's probably the tight end when he returns to the offense. You could go Hawkinson. So I guess Doyle, Hawkinson could be on our list. Wide receivers, Humphreys, Zay Jones would not be a bad pick at all. I'd probably go Zay Jones over Humphreys. He looks like the favorite target for I can't remember his name. Josh Allen. He looks like the favorite target right now. So that's an interesting pick for some upside because he was actually solid down the season. Didn't he outscore? He outscored Adam Thielen over the second half of last year. I'm pretty sure. Don't quote me on it, but I'm pretty sure Zay Jones had more fantasy points than Adam Thielen did over the second half of the season last year. I'll go with him. Why not? We'll have to wait a few seconds for this guy to make the pick. But let's draft Zay Jones because we don't need another position. But that's it. That is the 3rd mock draft in our 12 days of mock drafts, doing it every single day. So we have the upload at 8 a.m. And then I believe we're just going to put these out at 6 p.m. And this is Eastern Standard Time. But that's the end of this one. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Thanks for watching.